Have you ever been ghosted? You thought things were going great, but suddenly she disappears without a trace, leaving you hanging and questioning what went wrong. Let's not sugarcoat it. Women play games. Not maliciously, mind you. It's often instinctual, a way to test the waters of your emotional strength. They ghost, breadcrumb, or send mixed signals to see if you'll flounder or rise to the occasion. And if you flounder, well, you're out of the game before you've even begun. But here's the twist. It's not about outplaying her. It's about mastering yourself. Today, I'm going to hand you 10 foolproof strategies to rise above the chaos, regain control, and turn the tables, not by manipulation, but by becoming unshakable. Think of it as learning to be the calm eye in her emotional storm, the man who remains grounded while the winds of drama blow all around him. So, why do these games exist? To test your mettle. To see if you're the man who stands firm or crumbles under pressure. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to play along. Instead, you'll learn to navigate her games with grace, confidence, and the quiet power of a man in control. Let's dive in. Number 1. Master emotional detachment. Gentlemen, let's begin with the cornerstone of composure, emotional detachment. Now, don't mistake this for indifference. It's not about ignoring her or ceasing to care. It's about no longer letting your emotions be tossed around like a rowboat in a hurricane. Here's the truth most men miss. When a woman pulls back, acts distant, or goes as cold as an iceberg, she's not just being fickle. She's testing you. Testing your resilience, your stability, your ability to keep your head when the winds of uncertainty blow hardest. Most men fail spectacularly at this. They panic, they chase, they overanalyze. And that, my friend, is the kiss of death. Instead, be the man who stands steady. Whether she's flooding your phone with texts or vanishing into radio silence, your demeanor remains unchanged, calm, composed, unshakable. When you master this art, something magical happens. Her respect for you grows, and with it, her attraction. Women admire strength, and there's nothing stronger than a man who isn't easily rattled. Detachment is not about walking away. It's about walking tall. No matter the storm, stay centered, stay cool, and watch how the dynamics shift in your favor. Number 2. Recognize behavioral patterns. My friend, let me share a truth that will serve you well. Women are, in many ways, creatures of habit. Beneath the whirlwind of emotions and mystery lies a collection of patterns, as steady and predictable as the rising sun. Once you learn to see these patterns, their games become as transparent as a pane of glass. Take, for instance, the classic hot and cold routine. One day, she's texting you like you're the last man on earth, showering you with praise, hinting at dreamy futures. The next, silence. Radio static. She's suddenly busy or acting like you don't exist. This isn't coincidence, it's a strategy. A push-pull tactic designed to test your resolve, to see if you'll panic and chase her like a moth to a flame. Most men, bless their tender hearts, fall for this trap. They blow up her phone, asking, "Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong?" And just like that, they hand her the keys to the emotional kingdom. But you're not most men. When faced with this routine, you won't flinch. You'll recognize it for what it is, a test of your emotional strength. The moment you refuse to chase, the dynamic shifts. She starts wondering why you're not playing along, why her usual tricks didn't work. And let me tell you, Nothing makes a woman more intrigued than a man who doesn't crumble under her games. And then there's the insidious breadcrumbing technique. Oh, this one's a masterpiece of subtlety. She'll toss you a flirtatious text, maybe hint at hanging out sometime, just enough to keep you hooked. But when it's time to make real plans, poof, she's as elusive as a ghost in a foggy forest. Here's how you handle breadcrumbing. You call it out, but with the calm confidence of a man who knows his worth. Say something like, "Listen, I'm not here for half-hearted attention. If you're interested, great. If not, no hard feelings. But I'm not waiting around." Notice what's absent: anger, desperation, or pleading. You're simply stating your standards, and let me tell you, standards are irresistible. They show you're a man who values his time and isn't afraid to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't meet your expectations. Here's the kicker. These behaviors aren't always malicious. Sometimes they're subconscious, born from her own insecurities or past experiences. But intentional or not, the solution remains the same. Stay grounded, stay composed, and never let her games dictate your emotions. In this game of arts and minds, the man who masters himself holds all the cards. So, play wisely, my friend, and watch the rules bend in your favor. Number 3, draw the line, hold the ground. Now, let's talk boundaries, my friend, the unsung hero of every great relationship. Boundaries aren't walls, they're fences with gates that say, "This is my space, and you're welcome to step in, but only if you respect it." And here's the uncomfortable truth. If you don't set those fences early, you might as well hand her the keys to your emotional kingdom and invite her to redecorate as she pleases. Most men shy away from boundaries like they're handling nitroglycerin, terrified they'll scare her off. But let me tell you, women crave boundaries. Why? Because a man who respects himself enough to set them is a man who commands respect. Boundaries aren't about saying, "You can't do this." They're about saying, "I won't accept that." There's a world of difference. Picture this. She's been cancelling plans left and right, leaving you hanging like yesterday's laundry. Most guys? They'd either sulk in silence or go on a tirade about how it's not fair. But you? You're made of sterner stuff. You address it calmly, directly, with the composure of a man who knows his worth. "Hey, I've noticed you've been cancelling plans a lot. I value consistency and mutual respect. If you're not interested in making this work, that's fine. But I'm not okay with being in limbo." See what you just did there? You didn't beg. You didn't accuse. You stated your boundary and left the ball in her court. She can either rise to meet your standard or show herself the door. Either way, you win. Now, let's spice it up with a real kicker of a scenario. Say she's flirting with other guys right in front of you. Some fellas would lose their cool, turn it into a public spectacle, or simmer in quiet jealousy. But not you. You're as steady as a mountain in a hurricane. Later, in private, you simply say, "Look, I'm not into games. If you're interested in other guys, that's fine. I wish you the best. But I won't stick around for that. You've drawn the line. No anger, no pleading, just pure, unshakable confidence. And here's the beauty of it. Boundaries aren't ultimatums. They're invitations for others to show their character. If she steps up, great. If not, you've dodged a bullet the size of a cannonball. In the end, boundaries are the backbone of your self-respect. Set them early, hold them firm, and watch how the world, including her, treats you differently. Number 4, Stay calm under pressure. Ah, the age-old test. Can she rattle you? Women have an uncanny knack for pushing buttons you didn't even know existed. And they do it for one reason, to see if you'll crumble or stand tall. Maybe she drops a casual mention of her ex, bats her eyelashes at another guy, or delivers a perfectly timed, passive-aggressive quip. It's not malice, it's a dance, a way to gauge your emotional fortitude. Most men? They stumble onto the stage of this performance like a flustered understudy. They argue, pout, or let jealousy creep into their voice. But you, my friend, are no ordinary man. You're the mountain in her storm, the calm eye of the hurricane. Picture this. She leans in and says, "My ex used to take me to the most incredible restaurants." The average man? He'd launch into a tirade or sulk into his soup. But you? You offer a cool, collected, "That's nice. Sounds like he had good taste." No sarcasm, no edge, just a steady hand on the wheel. Suddenly, she's thrown off balance. Why? Because you're not playing the game. Now imagine this. At a party, she flirts with another guy, laughing a little too hard at his jokes, standing just a bit too close. Most men would puff up their chests, try to outshine the other guy, or call her out in front of everyone. But not you. You simply lean back, sip your drink, and let the scene play out. Maybe you chuckle to yourself. Maybe you chat with someone else. What you don't do is give her the reaction she's fishing for. Here's the secret. Your calmness speaks louder than any outburst ever could. It says, "I'm not threatened. I'm not controlled. I know my worth." And believe me, that's magnetic. Staying calm under pressure isn't just about handling her tests. It's about mastering yourself. It's about proving that no ex, no flirtation, no offhand comment can shake the foundation of who you are. And when you show her that level of emotional strength, you don't just pass the test, you rewrite the rules of the game. Number 5, focus on long-term goals. Ah, the folly of the modern man, tripping over today's drama while tomorrow's opportunities stand waving in the distance. Too many fellers lose themselves chasing the fleeting highs of a woman's attention, or the temporary relief of smoothing over some minor conflict. But the wise man, the stoic, knows better. He fixes his gaze on the horizon and walks steadily toward his long-term goals. Picture this. You're building something bigger than yourself. A career, a business, a healthier body, a sharper mind. You've got dreams worth chasing and a life that demands your focus. Now, ask yourself, do you really have time to unravel over whether she replied with 1 emoji instead of 3? Of course not. This shift in perspective is liberating. First, it keeps you grounded. Your emotional world doesn't rise and fall on the tide of her whims because you're anchored to something greater, your purpose. Second, it makes you magnetic. Women are drawn to men who stride through life with direction, not those meandering aimlessly for validation. Now, let's say you're seeing a woman and things have been going swimmingly. Then, out of nowhere, she starts pulling back. Fewer texts, vague excuses, a sudden chill in her demeanor. The average man, he panics. He double texts. He clears his schedule, waiting for a sign from her like some lovesick sailor scanning the horizon for a lighthouse. But not you. You tip your hat to the distance and keep building your empire. You're too busy carving out your destiny to be derailed by her games. If she wants to come along for the journey, wonderful. If not, you've got places to go, and your train's leaving on time. And here's the beauty of it. When she sees you marching forward, unshaken and unapologetic, she won't just notice, she'll gravitate toward you. Because nothing says high value like a man who knows his worth and refuses to settle for anything less. So, keep your eyes on the horizon, my friend. Let the games play out in the rearview mirror. Number 6. Avoid emotional retaliation. The great folly of mankind, retaliating in kind when emotions run high. She pulls a move to rattle your cage, and instead of steadying your hand, you flip the table. Maybe she flirts with another fellow, so you cozy up to the next available woman in a futile attempt to make her jealous. Or perhaps she ghosts you, and rather than holding your ground, you spiral into your own game of hard to get. My friend, let me save you the trouble. This approach is about as effective as pouring gasoline on a fire and expecting it to simmer down. When you retaliate emotionally, you've already handed her the reins. You're not in control, you're reacting. And in the dance of power, the one who reacts is always a step behind. Now imagine this. You're at a party with the woman you've been seeing, and she starts batting her lashes at another man. Most fellows would boil over like a kettle left too long on the stove, either storming up to her with righteous indignation, or worse, finding another woman to spark some juvenile game of tit for tat. But you, dear reader, are no ordinary man. Instead of reacting, you sit back and let the moment roll off you like water on a duck's back. You don't confront her, and you certainly don't stoop to play in her game. You remain calm, confident, and unshaken. And here's the twist. Your indifference is the move she never saw coming. It's like showing up to a chess match and playing by your own rules. When you refuse to retaliate emotionally, you send a powerful message. I am not a pawn in your game. That calm resolve shifts the balance of power back to you. She realizes that her antics have no sway over you. And in that realization lies her dilemma. The game loses its thrill because you've outgrown it, and suddenly she's faced with a choice. Drop the games or lose you entirely. And let me tell you, there's nothing more alluring than a man who refuses to play by the rules of pettiness. So keep your cool, steer your own ship, and watch as the tides turn in your favor. Number 7. Communicate clearly and firmly. Communication, the bread and butter of relationships, yet so often turned into burnt toast. Most men either sweep issues under the rug until they trip over them or charge in with all the finesse of a bull in a china shop. But a wise man, a man of calm resolve, handles it differently. He speaks clearly, firmly, and without letting his emotions drive the cart. Imagine this. She's been distant lately, and it's gnawing at you. The average fellow might stew in silence, hoping she'll magically read his mind. Or worse, explode with accusations like fireworks on the 4th of July. But you're no ordinary chap. You approach her with steady composure, saying something like, I've noticed you've been a little off lately. Is there something on your mind? You see the magic here. No anger, no blame, no emotional theatrics. Just an invitation for honesty. This simple, direct approach throws her off guard in the best possible way. You're not playing detective or martyr. You're being a man who values clarity over chaos. Here's why it works. When you communicate calmly, you set the stage for respect. You're not poking the bear or playing games. You're establishing a foundation of honesty. Women don't just notice this, they admire it. It shows you're not afraid to address issues and that you value maturity over melodrama. So speak your truth, my friend, not with fire and fury, but with the quiet strength of a man who knows his worth. Number 8, guard your kingdom. Your well-being comes first. Let me tell you, my friend, the most important relationship you'll ever have isn't with her or anyone else for that matter. It's with yourself. Men often forget this vital truth, especially when tangled in the emotional cobwebs of someone else's games. If you find yourself stressed, anxious, or tiptoeing on eggshells, it's time for a hard reset. Here's the unvarnished truth. No one, man or woman, is worth the price of your peace of mind or your self-respect. The moment you start sacrificing your well-being to accommodate her whims, you've handed her the keys to your kingdom. And trust me, that's a lease you'll regret signing. This isn't about being selfish. It's about balance. A man who prioritizes his own well-being radiates strength, and strength is irresistibly attractive. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, who know their worth, and who refuse to be swayed by emotional storms. Picture this. She's hot one day, cold the next. You're left scratching your head, wondering what you did wrong. Maybe you even start bending over backward to please her, trying to decode her ever-changing moods. Stop right there. Take a deep breath and ask yourself one simple question. Is this worth sacrificing my sanity for? The answer, if you're honest with yourself, is likely no. So, step back. Focus on your passions. Hit the gym, dive into your work, or spend time with friends who lift you up rather than tear you down. By doing this, 2 outcomes emerge. Either she respects you more because you're not so easily controlled, or she fades away, leaving you with the peace you deserve. And here's the beauty of it. Either way, you win. Your well-being is non-negotiable, and the sooner you make that clear, the sooner the world and women will respect you for it. Because a man who protects his peace is a man who commands respect, always. Number 9, the art of patience. Let me tell you, patience is the sharpest arrow in your quiver when it comes to navigating the labyrinth of women's games. I know, it's not the answer most men want to hear. We live in an age of instant gratification, where a 5-minute delay in a text feels like eternity. But the man who masters patience is the man who commands respect. Women test your patience. It's almost a rite of passage. They'll leave your text on read for hours, or cancel plans at the 11th hour just to see if you crumble. Most men, predictably, panic. They double text, seek reassurance, and chase harder, handing over their power like a pawn in a chess game. But not you. You, my friend, are different. When she takes her sweet time to respond, you don't lose your cool. When she pulls back, you don't rush to fix things. Instead, you lean into patience. You let her feel the weight of her own silence. You allow her the space to miss you, to wonder why you didn't react, to question what makes you so composed. And why does this work? Because patience isn't just a virtue. It's a signal of strength. It says, I am whole, with or without your attention. Women are naturally drawn to men who don't need constant validation, who can stay calm in the eye of the storm. But don't mistake patience for passivity. It's not about waiting forever or doing nothing. It's about understanding timing, about acting with purpose instead of impulse. A patient man doesn't chase, he attracts. He doesn't react, he strategizes. So, the next time you're tempted to chase after a response or overanalyze her mixed signals, pause. Take a breath. Remember that patience isn't weakness, it's power in disguise. Because a man who masters patience masters himself, And that, my friend, is the game changer. Number 10. The power of walking away. Let me tell you a truth that separates the strong from the desperate. Knowing when to walk away is the ultimate act of self-respect. It's not about playing games or bluffing. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying, "This is who I am, and I won't settle for less." Here's the beauty of it. Walking away isn't about her. It's about you. It's about recognizing when a situation no longer serves your peace, your purpose, or your dignity. If she's flaking on plans, stringing you along, or treating you like an option, you owe it to yourself to step back, not with drama, not with anger, but with calm, quiet confidence. Picture this. She's pulling her usual games, cancelling last minute, flirting with other guys, or leaving you in emotional limbo. Most men would panic, grovel, or chase, desperately clinging to hope. But not you. You stand firm. You say, "I'm not here for this back and forth. If you're serious, let me know. If not, I'm moving on." And then you do it. You walk away. No follow-up texts, no lurking on her social media, no second-guessing your worth. You focus on yourself, your goals, and the life you're building. It's not about manipulating her into chasing you. It's about protecting your peace and refusing to play a game that doesn't serve you. Here's the kicker. When you walk away, two things happen. Either she realizes what she's lost and comes back, or she doesn't. And you're better off for it. Because the man who walks away is the man who controls his destiny. He's not afraid to lose because he knows his worth isn't tied to someone else's validation. Walking away isn't easy. It takes courage. It means facing the fear of being alone and choosing self-respect over temporary comfort. But when you master this, you step into a rare kind of power. The kind that says, "I don't need you to complete me, I'm already whole." And that, my friend, is the ultimate message. True power isn't in chasing or clinging. It's in knowing when to let go and having the strength to mean it. Ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing you take from this journey today, let it be this. The true power in any relationship lies not in controlling others, but in mastering yourself. Women's games, while frustrating, are not obstacles to overcome. They are opportunities to refine your character, to sharpen your emotional resilience, and to remind yourself of your worth. What we've explored today isn't about manipulation or tricks. It's about standing tall in the face of uncertainty, staying calm when chaos beckons, and knowing that your value isn't measured by someone else's attention. Each of these strategies, whether it's setting boundaries, staying calm under pressure, or walking away with dignity, is a step toward becoming the kind of man who cannot be shaken. Because here's the truth, when you stop playing games and start living with purpose, the dynamics shift. You become the calm in the storm, the anchor in the whirlwind, the man who knows his worth and lives it unapologetically. And that, my friend, is a magnetism no game can diminish. Now, if this video resonated with you, don't just keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, share it with a friend who needs to hear these truths, and drop your thoughts in the comments. What's the most challenging game you've faced? How did you rise above it? Let's build a community where men can learn, grow, and inspire each other. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for more insights that cut through the noise and get to the heart of what really matters. Because this journey, it's just beginning. Until next time, stay grounded, stay focused, and stay true to yourself.